It's 6 o'clock. I'd like to call the regular meeting, November 19th, Blair Township Board of Trustees to order. Stand for the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Kuchar,
Here.
Seitz,
Here.
Campbell,
Here.
Fitzpatrick,
Here.
Wolfgang,
Here.
Leaf, Swanton.
Here. Brief public input. Anybody have any? No? Approval of the agenda.
I would make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
It's been moved and supported to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Declaration of conflict of interest. Any board member have a conflict with anything on the agenda? Presentation, special reports. Brad called. He is going to attend Garfield's meeting first, and then as soon as he's done presenting there, he'll try to scoot out here before we're done. Community police officer.
Hello, Matt Trustee, Blair Township Community Police Officer. The monthly report for October 2021. My stats: arrests 1, citations 4, complaints 53, traffic crashes 6, warrants attained, says obtained. That's incorrect. 4, just notice that. What I forgot in September, I forgot to tell you, this guy, the sad thing is I went on his Facebook and he does beautiful stonework. He has a nice little pictures of all these things he did, but he got into some gambling and back into some heroin, and there's a lady down the road, she gave him 10 grand to do stonework around her in-ground pool, and he just took it all and never returned. And then investigating that, I found out that the lighthouse, I contacted them, they gave him $17,000 and he never showed up. So there's a felony warrant for him, but our jail has a ton of COVID right now. So they're not even taking some felony warrants. So, because I called the fugitive team to go find him. And he has a little baby and a new girlfriend, so I talked to her. She's pretty upset, obviously. Little October larcenies, I labeled the next thing. We had some hunting chairs, really expensive hunting chairs, stolen out of a guy's blind in on Norton Road, but you gain access to the property off Mill Road. Then on Old Maple Trail, someone's giant Halloween ghost was taken. I never found it. And on October 18th, I went to the Head Start again. I go there and do a program every year, sometimes twice a year for both classes. There's two classrooms there. Sarah Morrow, she runs it. She's super nice. We got to know each other real well. And she wanted me to come see the kids, so I stayed there for recess and then lunch, and then I didn't stay for nap time. It's amazing. They run around like maniacs, and then it's nap time, and they all go take a nap.
I could relate.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Treasurer's report.
All right, general fund, $3,734,568. Public safety fund, $668,824. Ambulance fund, $741,994. Liquor or Metro Act fund is $17,093. Liquor law enforcement fund is $35,187. Milfoil fund is $12,685. Sewer fund is $1,702,000. Water fund is $2,454,234. Current tax collections is $149,837. And payroll fund is $30.87 for a total of $9,516,462.08.
Thanks.
Any questions for Tracy? Announcements and correspondence. I think everybody has heard that the TCAP Board of Education approved the donation of the 130.44 acres behind the 80-acre parcel that they will be keeping and will be deeding it. They have actually drawn up the deed for $500 to Blair Township. We're holding off on recording the deed until we get the results back from the Phase 1 environmental, which is underway. The cost of the environmental is $1,800. So $1,800 plus $500 is what the 130.44 acres will be costing Blair Township.
Love to find a deal like that for me.
Yeah. Anybody else have any announcements, correspondence?
I do. I'd like to just congratulate you on the 2 awards that you so dearly have benefited, and you benefited all of us, so thank you so much for those awards.
Thank you guys. And I mean, all of that was truly a team effort. Without the board support, the stuff that's happening wouldn't be happening. I told Eric the next day, I said, I felt like I lived through my eulogy. Your speech was flattering and heartwarming, to say the least. So, thank you.
Rest in peace.
I know, right? It was almost a weird feeling over the weekend. Ooh. So at my funeral, you can do a eulogy.
Okay.
Anything else?
I'm sure I'll cry harder.
Consent calendar. The purpose of the consent calendar is to expedite business by grouping non-controversial items together to be dealt with in one board motion without discussion. Any member of the board may ask that any item of the consent calendar be removed and placed elsewhere on the agenda for full discussion. Such requests will automatically be respected. Does anybody want anything to hold? Entertain a motion.
I move to approve the consent calendar as presented.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to approve the consent calendar as presented. Roll call?
Wolfgang,
Yes.
Lees,
Yes.
Ruth,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Zeitz,
Yes.
Blanchard,
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
New business. Approval to proceed with an RFP for emergency services, architectural cost and design. Eric?
Well, yeah, everybody saw the rendering that they now designed for us. They did that because they know we have to have something to present to get a concept down. But now we're to the point where we need to have an architect on file, what's the word? Record. And it's to the point where it's going to be very time consuming on their end. And the time investment to follow through with that is we need to hire somebody, whoever it is. I know it might not be them, but I'd like to put our RFP out, be able to get the estimated costs of such a building as presented, but this would be the next step of moving forward with this.
I would make a motion to approve and proceed with the RFP for emergency service architectural cost and design.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to proceed with an RFP for emergency services, architectural cost and design. Any further discussion? I think this is important. We obviously need to get a dollar amount before we start talking about how we're gonna fund, funding, and before we start getting public input and doing some public open houses, we need to have. So this, like Eric said, this is our next step. Roll call?
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Wolfgang,
Yes.
Zeiss,
Yes.
Blondstein,
Yes.
Leaf,
Yes.
Kuchar.
Yes,
Item 2, request for reduction of water sewer benefit fee. He's all had the letter of request from a gentleman, just for a little history. We've been approached by a person who is proposing to open up a laundromat in the Blair Plaza. And you saw the letter, Lisa's staying for the meeting to answer any questions. Has requested to reduce the water sewer benefit fee from a half per benefit to a quarter per benefit. Talked to Lisa quite a bit about this. As far as she's aware, this hasn't happened before. I don't know if it's ever even been requested before.
Well, not formally requested, but yeah, it's been requested lots of times, but
Right,
never
but not to
formed.
this.
Right.
And Lisa, if you would explain, if we were to decrease this benefit cost, and then he were to go over the allotted amount over this
Right.
benefit fee,
Yep, yeah.
then
If
he jumps
I
to a
mean,
different tier.
Correct. If he does not have enough benefit fees for the water usage that he has, rather than paying the $3.35 per 1,000 gallons, it'll jump to the next tier and it'll double per 1,000 gallons. So if by reducing this, and he tends to use more water than the benefit fees a lot, we would be getting twice as much money for the same amount of water on a monthly basis as opposed to a one-time shot.
Right. And you can see in his letter of request, I mean, he's done all the research and with the washing machines in 2021 versus washing machines even 10 years ago.
Yeah, I don't
Right?
even know when the
water
schedule was.
usage
The
is-
schedule, we adapted that from county. So back when, probably 98, I'm assuming we adopted it. I'm assuming when we put the water system in, I don't know. But it's been the same ever since. So with the high efficiency washers now, and like I said, if he doesn't have enough benefit fees, he'd be paying a higher rate per 1,000 gallons than he would be on a monthly basis.
And he is aware of that?
Yep, he's aware of the tiers.
He must be pretty sure he's not going to use that.
He definitely has done his homework.
That's the honest.
29 mile. No laundromat within a 29 mile.
Isn't there a laundromat over by Save-A-Lot?
I don't know.
Yeah,
if
those
I
that's
think
open.
that's the one he's talking about.
Well, and the one over by,
No, between, he means between the one in Beulah and Tom's Market. There's
Sounds
nothing,
still in between.
yeah,
Oh, because interlock is shut down.
Oh, there's one on 14th Street still?
Yeah. that's the one he's
Mm.
referring
I
to.
see.
And Lisa, if we approve this, we'll have to rewrite, we'll have to do a resolution. We'll have to
Correct.
write up a resolution.
correct, with the schedule of
With the
fees
schedule
and
of
amend
fees.
that line item. And actually, we have done that once before, now that I think about it, I don't know if that was a formal request or what, but to reduce storage areas on the schedule. to accessory buildings were not to be 10 cents per 1,000 square feet if they're detached accessory. So we did amend that. I don't even know when that happened. That was back in the reign of Pat Paul.
I'll make a motion to approve the reduction of the water sewer benefit fee to 0.25 per washing machine, as requested.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to approve the reduction of the water sewer benefit fee, I should say, for the new proposed Blair Plaza laundromat. And I think for me personally, one of my biggest reasons of supporting this is, again, the efficiency of wash machines in this day and age versus, we said 98, that fee schedule was set up. The fact that I think this is a huge benefit to this community. We do not have a laundromat. Interlochen doesn't have a laundromat. So I think it's a huge, huge benefit to the community. And that's my reasoning for making my motion. Any other discussion? Roll call?
Campbell?
Yes.
You, Wolfgang.
Yes.
Longshine.
Yes.
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Sykes.
Yes.
Lisa, you'll contact him
I will.
tomorrow?
I will, yep. I'll send him an email and let him know that I'm assuming it's gonna be on the agenda for next month.
We'll have to with the resolution?
Mhm.
Okay.
Perfect.
Item 3, Water Loss Committee.
Okay, so I wrote up our minutes finally for our 3 meetings, so everybody can see. One of the things that we've taken away is one, Patrick needs to contact Rural Water. Did you contact them yet?
John Holland?
Yeah.
I talked to him yesterday.
Oh.
Actually, he was on site.
Okay,
We were cleaning the tank and stuff, and I talked to him about an hour.
That's weird.
so is he going to give us the cost on,
I didn't get a cost quite yet from him, but he says it's probably gonna take at least a month of full-time leak detection to do all the curb stops.
okay.
At $300 a day, I'd emailed him. I didn't know you were doing that, trucker.
Well, he saw us cleaning the underground tank, we had the interior clean yesterday. He saw us out there and he was just rolled on in, so I just talked to him about it.
Yeah, he said it was gonna be $300 a day with a correlator, and that we can expect it to take several weeks to do the curb stops.
So you're looking at over 6,000?
Curb stops?
No, if it's 300 a day and it's gonna take them a month,
A month?
that's
There's like
20 days.
1,400 curb stops.
No, because I would think that we would only need to do the old ones. Only the ones that aren't connected. Wouldn't you think?
I mean, if you're gonna do them, you might as well do them all.
Well, I'm thinking the old ones that have been in the ground since '98 that nobody's connected to. There's a lot of
How many
times where we're,
are there that aren't connected to?
I don't know,
300-400?
at least, if not more, like the Village, Old Maple, Vance.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times when we get water bubbling up,
Oh,
it's
dear.
from the Ironwoods. You know, it's from the old ones that have never connected.
Well, I think if it's $6,000 that it costs, it would be money well spent. Considering looking at our percentage of water loss, and this is part of the rule out process to figure out
Where
where.
Where it's going.
So,
Right. So we'll get that hopefully by next board meeting and be on his schedule. The other thing is Lisa brought us some reports, but now we don't understand the reports because we're not sure where they're coming from in BSNA. So I think we need approval for Lisa to work on this and pull Jerome into working
I
on
already
it.
emailed BSNA.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm.
What did they say?
Pretty much what I thought. Well, the consumption is different than the billed usage.
Well, can they tell you what the numbers are coming from?
No, well, then they're asking me, and I asked as far as the inactive accounts on the final one. Well, if you're checking inactive accounts, well, why would I be, checking inactive accounts for billing? It doesn't make any sense. I got the email. I'll bring it
Okay.
to the water loss.
Yeah.
I emailed them today to see, I told them what our problem was, and we needed somebody to explain or walk the water loss committee through the process and how much it would cost. I haven't gotten an answer yet.
Got it.
Okay. Yeah, so we need to get with BSNA to understand the reports better and
So they said
Well,
consumption,
I contacted county as well and asked for, and I still haven't got it, that was last week, and asked for a report on their water billing for East Bay because I figured that would be the closest to us as far as bills and usage and all that, to find out how much their usage is monthly, to see where it compares with ours. And I talked with Kim, and she's like, she's like the BSNA report. She's like, I don't use them. They dump all the stuff into Excel to get the reports because she's like, the consumption reports are just crap. She's like, they're not anywhere near accurate and they don't compare.
right.
Wow.
Yeah, so we don't know.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on that report from East Bay to see what the numbers look like, as far as what their usage is per month.
I'd also be interested in Filer to see what they do, because I know they use BSNA. The gal at Filer.
Tammy.
That, from an outsider, I'm not on your water loss committee, but just listening to this conversation tonight, I feel like the water committee needs to designate maybe a chair. Since you're taking the minutes, or maybe you have, but Lisa emailed John Holland, Patrick talked to John Holland, Lynette called BSNA, Lisa called BSNA, Trace, so
we're not.
we all work in the same building,
Right.
A. And B, maybe in your meeting,
Well, I had.
designate a task with a name.
Well, I did, Patrick to contact John Holland. And he did it, Patrick, I don't know if everybody got these, but Patrick made nice little graphs for the past 3 years on water, on what he has for our water loss and that, so, that was on our list to do. And I wanted to wait and talk to the board before pulling Jerome away from something else to get him so that Lisa can help us more. I didn't just want to make a unilateral decision.
Right, but you get what I mean, like at your next meeting?
Mm-hmm.
Ryan and I made a little rig to fit over the top of a barrel that marks gallons on it. And so far, we've only tested 2 of the old census meters. The brass body PMM, which is the majority of the meters in the system. We got it propped up over the barrel with the meter horn, simulating a hookup like in a house. And we simulated a toilet leak. We have a ball valve on the bottom. And both census meters did not register any gallons. One meter, we filled the tank to 15 gallons. It didn't register anything. And then the second one we put on, we let it go for 8 gallons, and it didn't register any gallons on the meter head. So we've only just starting to get into testing the meters here at Blair. It's not like an official testing site, but that was kind of alarming.
maybe I missed the beginning. Was that one of the old census meters?
Yes,
It
the
was.
brass body PMMs, which is the majority of the meters in the system.
Right, which are original meters?
Yes, those in the yes, those were the original for the change out, and then we went to the iPros, which I don't know how many iPros we have in the system. We haven't tested any of those yet, but, the two brass bodied ones didn't register any gallons at a toilet leak rate, which I simulated it coming out the valve. And I can, if anybody wants to see it,
He's got.
I
I
do.
can set the rig up and we can show you.
And he's got.
Yeah, I wanna see it with the brass bodied sensor, and then I wanna see it with a new meter. And I don't care if it's a census, I don't care if it's a Metron.
Yeah.
I don't care, but I wanna see the exact same demonstration with a new meter.
Yes.
Cause that, for me, will be pretty clear.
Patrick, one of the things I had an issue when you had it set up and you called me. I guess you said Roger seen it too. The only issue I had in that one, how you got it was because it was defective. It wasn't calling in. Anything electronic, I mean, a car could be the same thing. They have an ignition problem somewhere on the ignition, but still could have a problem by doing that. Now it's gonna have an exhaust problem too. And TVs are the same way. If you had one, it was it. I have an issue with that. And we had talked about pulling meters, or some meters that we know aren't affected, because that one you showed me, so you're doing a test, you already knew that was defective, because that's why you already replaced it. It wasn't calling in.
That meter was registering gallons, it just wasn't sending a signal.
It wasn't sending. But anything, if you have something that's got one thing broken, it could be by the thing else. Yeah, even my body. I had a hip issue, even though I thought it was a knee, but I mean, it just interfered. So I didn't like, when I got the unit, and I was there and I took pictures of it. But it didn't, to me, it didn't seem right, because you knew it was defective already. I would like to have one set, not
We can do that.
called
We can
in
do whatever you
defective,
want.
to have that.
We did another one that wasn't defective and it did the same.
Well, I didn't know that. You only showed me the one that,
Yes,
the
but
only
we
one
did
that you
once.
told me, and only told me, and showed me was the one that was defective.
Yeah.
You never told me or showed me the other one.
Well, because we did it yesterday.
And I'm on the water loss committee. I
Yeah.
should see that.
Well, we did it yesterday.
A lot of this stuff is not being showed to the committee. Yes.
Did you hear him? He just did it yesterday.
We did another meter yesterday.
Or you had
It's
called
not
me on that one, but you didn't call me
Yeah,
that.
just because we had, we were very busy yesterday. We had the people at the tank and updates and everything. We just set it up while we were out doing something and came back and, I can do whatever you guys want. Whatever you want, I can do.
Well, that's what, you're right. We want it done and then move on. If we get to say, okay, this is done, you move on. We're getting, right, all of a sudden, like at that one meeting, there was a point, Tracy and I and Lisa, somehow, I was in the middle of them, we were talking about the building, and you and Dennis were talking about cost of a meter. We gotta, to me, it's, I don't know, it's just too much. Well, no, I don't think it has to, let's go by that. We all have to work together, stick on one subject and stay on it and move on. Get that one done, then move on. If we're gonna spend the money onto the rural water and spend the money, get that done, move on. We can't have 5 or 6 things and we keep saying, well, everything. Or if we're gonna do the building, well, let's just not do the building. Let's get that done.
So are
Move
you
on.
volunteering? What I'm hearing is kind of what I said 5 minutes ago, that the water committee should have a chairperson and maybe come in and moderate, keep it on track, keep
Yeah.
everybody, so you don't have that, so.
What about me, yeah.
Well, then if we get time tomorrow, we'll come and get your meter.
Okay, you have to get in the house for that, right?
You bet.
Okay. Just can't look at my
Is it
messy
accessible?
downstairs. Yeah, it's in my crawl space,
Perfect.
but there's nothing, it's,
No, it's a nice crawl though, it's not like under a mobile home.
yeah, it's not creepy.
Yeah.
It's pretty clean.
So we'll come and put a Metron in there and we'll swap yours out with a Metron then.
Okay,
You can do that.
my bill better not go
Is
up.
that one that's been?
I'll start estimating.
Yeah.
when it does.
So, yeah, our next water loss committee is this Thursday at 10 a.m.
Why don't we have a field trip back to the garage and everybody can see the meters?
Okay.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
The meters and everybody can see
You
it.
guys aren't on the committee, don't say yes.
Well, he said field
He
trip.
didn't say.
He said field trip.
He said everybody.
I'm in.
Patrick, did Mike get back to you about
Just kidding.
testing those
They
meters?
have
He was
not
talking-
tested them yet.
Huh?
They have not tested them yet.
We haven't tested them, and then we had talked about
They
that
have not. no.
September 29th. It's 5 weeks ago.
You got it.
Okay.
And as for, and I know, and I'll just stomp on the elephant in the room. I know we've talked about new meters. I am still for looking into new meters because I think we should have all the same kind of meters. That's just my opinion. But I kind of want to cross off the cheaper things first before we get to the more expensive things. And I'm still waiting for our governor to come out with her ARPA money and that so we can write grants. So anybody that wants new meters wants to write a grant.
I wish I had the knowledge. I really do. I wish
Oh,
I had the
it's-
knowledge.
It depends on the grant as to how hard it is, how complicated it is. But some are very complicated, some are just forms to fill out. But I mean, I still don't want, I'm not dismissing that and that I just want to try to go the least cost to the most cost and wait for the governor to come out with some of her money to share with us.
Yes,
I
you and I
agree.
discussed that. You and I discussed it, and right. Like the ARPA money, that's not our money. That's the taxpayers' money. We can't just spend it on something. I wasn't, like I said, if we did the meters, do we still have this other issue? And that's right. We
Right,
don't
we
want to
still
do that.
gotta
It's
know-
not our money.
We still
It's
gotta
all
understand
the
billing.
taxpayers' money. I wouldn't have to spend it, be frugal on it, and we were, for discharge on it, and we just don't want to say, okay, it's a meters, let's go, you know? That's a lot of money.
And when I did talk to John Holland, and every webinar I took on water loss points to either billing or meters.
Right,
For
right.
most of the problems.
Everything that we've
And
done is the same thing.
In 2019, off the water department report, off the numbers that I was given and figured and estimating, it's 177,000 gallons per day going down the drain, literally.
Right.
And on the other report, it's 138,000 gallons per day going down the drain. Now, and annually, that's 64, almost 65 million gallons off one report and 50 million gallons off another report. So, I mean, over the course of 3 years, we're looking at 150 to 170 million gallons disappearing and not showing up anywhere.
Right, and I'm not comfortable with saying, let's drop another well when we're
That's a lot
already
of
giving
water.
this much away. I can't say, well, let's drop another well and give some more away. That's my,
Which was the whole point of setting up a water loss committee.
Yes.
right,
Just to stop that, like I said, I kept bringing it up before, when you start, showing $250,000 per year, what I brought up 3 months ago. And that's after 4 years, holy cow, there you go.
In best case scenario, over the 3 years off both print reports, we filled that elevated tank 100 times and don't know where it went over the year. Put it in that perspective.
right.
My question that I had was, I think just to Tracy and Carl, you both did a BSNA utility billing webinar.
Oh.
I'm wondering if you found that beneficial or?
I mean, it was, the morning part was not very good, but the afternoon was okay, but it really didn't. I asked them on the water loss and what we were looking for, and he gave me a couple areas to look, but not really anything concrete. But again, he's looking at it as we had all one meter, one brand.
And also, you can do webinars. But unless it's hands-on, there's, you know, you could sit there and listen to somebody 1,000 miles away and listen on a computer. Unless you know, and if I have the hands-on of the software, it'd be like somebody trying to explain certain things on Windows 10, you know, unless you really have the laptop
Yeah, some of it
there
was
with
great.
it on it to play with it, you're not really gonna understand. Just to listen to somebody give high points on that,
I agree.
because that webinar really was set up for people already that have the software, they got the computer, and they're showing it. I didn't have it.
Right.
So that webinar,
So,
right.
yeah.
you know, it's not, yeah, we attended a webinar, but
And I
it's
just have one more
not
question.
hands-on.
And probably Patrick, I don't know if he can answer this or not. I know Filer Township switched to new meters.
Yes.
Do you know their billing software? Is it BSNA
I
or
believe
is,
it is, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, or is there a utility billing specific that goes with the meter specific, like Metron? Does Metron have a utility billing?
I don't
Program?
believe so. I think Tyler does use BSNA.
Okay.
I can call Amy tomorrow.
That's all I had.
Better check with the chairperson first.
What?
And you guys meet Thursday at 10. Perfect. Okay,
Field
moving
trip.
on.
Field
What-
trip.
Did you have something else? Sorry.
Field trip.
Oh, field trip. Item 4, approval of Gary Bites to attend firefighter 1 and 2 school with assigned tuition agreement.
So Gary's been with us for a year now, he's an EMT. He's been helping fill in shifts with standby events, he's picked up a couple of day shifts. He's come in numerous times when all the crews have been out and backfilled the station, and he likes to obtain his firefighter certificate so he can be more valuable here. And if you're gonna ask, the budget for fire training this year, it's going to be maxed out, if not a little over, because we had the opportunities with Dare to attend the investigator school, Chief Parker attended the fire inspection school, which was the instructors were paid for through a grant. So it was only testing costs and book costs, so it's gonna be right there close by the end of the year.
I would move to approve sending Gary Bites to firefighter 1 and 2 school with assigned tuition agreement.
Sports.
It's been moved and supported to approve Gary Bites to attend firefighter 1 and 2 school with assigned tuition agreement. Any further discussion? Roll call?
Please.
Yes.
Wolfgang,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Flanshein,
Yes.
Zeiss,
Yes.
Petrek,
Yes.
Campbell.
Number 5, Easter egg hunt. I could have probably just stuck that under announcements. I'm just wondering, do you guys want to have an Easter egg hunt? We couldn't do it last year because of COVID. In my opinion, I want to have one. I don't always like the work detail, but I still want to have it.
It's great for the community, the kids, they get to participate.
And Dennis likes dressing up as the Easter Bunny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have a new Easter bunny costume.
Oh, really?
The jail schools.
So I'm assuming that's it. That's it. All in favor of having an Easter egg hunt in the park on Easter Sunday?
No.
No.
Saturdays?
It has to be said, it can't be, I got too many people coming over.
April,
For Easter.
it's gonna be April 16th.
Yeah, be 16.
Do you want a motion?
Sure.
I move to approve holding the annual Easter egg hunt in the park on April 16th, 2022.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to hold our Easter egg hunt in the park on Saturday, April 16th of 2022. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Number 6, discussion on ARPA funds and how do we proceed. I stuck this on here too because I just wanted to bring it up and get input on if anybody has any ideas or inputs or suggestions. We've received our first payment of our ARPA fund dollars. We certainly have time to spend them. I think we want to spend our money wisely. And there are actually a lot of things that money could be spent on, even though it's very specific. There's still a lot of options available. I think, and I'm probably gonna look towards Lynette for some guidance on this as far as doing a public meeting. And then I know we have to post it and have a vague agenda, like an open house is what I mean.
Yeah,
Not
open
a
house.
formal meeting, but just like
Get
an
input
open
from
house
everybody.
to welcome anybody and even have like a suggestion box where some people aren't comfortable talking in a
Oh,
public
that'd be
meeting.
good.
So they could just write down their thoughts. They
Yeah,
could
'cause
sign
some
their name, they
people-
could leave it unanimous, but then we could open, this is just my thinking, and you guys give me input. But we could even open the suggestions, the ideas in the meeting, read it out loud, and then just have a complete, no 2-minute public input, just
Right.
tell us what you think. You know, we've only, since we've been a team, we've only had 4 meetings that I can think of where this room was packed full. And that was when we were writing the master plan. And then we did that in community engagement part of it, and that was fun. I mean, there was a lot of people. So I want it very informal. I don't want a formal board. I just want, so I guess I'll look for you for.
Yeah, all we would have to do is post it. I mean, we can take minutes, but it, like you say, it's not like a public hearing or.
Right, and no
something.
decisions, it's just conversation.
Right.
And I think we should have a couple,
Mhm.
several. And we can, I guess, base on how many attend. You know, if we have 2 and nobody shows up or 1 person shows up, we can do like third and final calling.
Yeah.
We put it out there, we tried.
Yeah.
What is the best way to reach the community?
Exactly. That's what I was gonna
I
say.
think our Facebook page gets a lot of hits, a lot. Especially when we post the emergency services birthdays and stuff. But I'll share it on my personal page. If anybody who has a Facebook page shares it,
Oh, yeah.
you know, our website, we can put it on a sign out front.
Yeah.
Which is one of the things we need
That
to
we
spend
could
the money
spend some
on.
money on a new sign, which would be great.
Can I suggest you do a raffle? Some kind of a raffle, like dinner out at some place.
We can't,
We can't
We
bribe
can't
them.
do
Yeah, something like that.
Can't bribe them.
Well, I was just trying to figure a way to get them in through the door.
Well, free coffee, cookies, or whatever, I mean.
If they're interested.
That might be better too.
Yeah.
Raffle, you'd have to get a raffle
Now
license,
they're
da, da,
gonna
da.
figure out how to spend that money.
Yeah.
But Nicole, I love your idea of suggestion box. One, because I know some people, they have good ideas, but in their mind, they don't think it is. They think, well, that'd be a dumb question, but I wish we could do that, but I like that suggestion box. You said, you could put that suggestion in there.
And then when.
And without, don't have to
Right.
stand up in
Your
front of
Dropbox.
people.
And that's what I mean, a lot of people don't like to speak in public.
Yeah.
You have a 24-hour Dropbox, don't you?
We do.
Mhm.
Could it encourage people to use that?
The one thing that I hate to encourage, I mean, I don't hate to encourage that, but the one thing I could see that being a problem, some of the suggestions we simply are not gonna be able to spend those dollars on.
Yeah.
So if somebody just drops it in there and I guess in our public meeting, we could read it and then we could address it, but it might not be addressed specifically
To that person.
to that person.
And then they'll say, well, they didn't listen.
Yeah. I don't know, but
I get what you're saying there.
I guess maybe in December. So sure.
Mhm.
Early part of December because of the holidays.
Yeah.
People get busy and.
Yeah. Because I guess the money's been deposited, the first payment, it's there, so I think start indeed. Personally, I've been thinking about it, I've got some thoughts in my own mind. But I don't have my calendar with me.
I do.
And what day of the week or what works best for everybody? Or what time do we think?
Maybe midweek at 7.
Middle of the week, you said?
Yeah, it's at 7, 6 o'clock's too early. Some people are still getting home from work.
It's the 14th. Should we shoot for like our first one, December 9th, which is a Thursday? At 7 p.m. But Tracy's calendar's open.
I can't
Does
say
that-
it's a lot of it.
I might have to take Sally out for dinner.
For birthday?
No, it's our anniversary.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Be free coffee, dude.
Hey.
Yeah.
Nah, that won't matter.
I could have been here at 4 o'clock and be here by 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do something in the day.
So December 9th?
7 p.m.
Are you gonna be home by then? Dennis?
Yeah, I'll be back home. I'll be home
Oh,
by,
your
I'll
trip.
be home for Thanksgiving,
Before Thanksgiving?
day before.
I thought you were going for like 3 weeks.
No, we cut it back. Thanksgiving.
Makes me feel better.
Okay.
I was worried about.
Lynette and I will work on a posting for that.
We will. We've said this up there.
That's the way we do
Brad's here.
Just listening to you guys talk. Brad Joe, Grand Traverse County Board of Commissioners. Speaking of ARPA, 2 weeks ago, we did hire a consultant, and we will spend up to $50,000 to work for that consultant to help us figure out how to spend the money, where we can spend it. There's 5 main criterias, but they're pretty broad within those criterias. Nicole sat there and kind of listened to our conversation and everything, so that consultant should be starting on this already. We approved it 2 weeks ago, and the administration was gonna sign that the following day and everything, so I would imagine here probably in the next 6 weeks or so, we might hear something from them and everything, so it would be interesting to see. I don't know if Ron's reported this, or I know I haven't in a while, but the airport here now is an authority instead of a governance model. It is also the 3rd busiest airport in the state, Detroit Metro, Grand Rapids, and then TBC, so. And they do have plans, which you've probably seen in the news networks and everything, to increase parking for one thing, but then add up to 5 terminals, I think it's 4 or 5 terminals and everything, so, just signed that they're getting busier, so it's growing here, so. 2 weeks ago, we did have a resolution reaffirming the 2018 resolution for the capital campaign for the senior center, and the county is also going to go ahead and contribute $25,000 more each year for the next 4 years towards that campaign if it takes that long and everything. So we've had some real interesting conversations on the senior center. A big misconception on it. One, the senior center is ran down. It's an old building and everything like that, but the county does not own that building. The city does. The city owns the property, the city owns the building, and that's where a lot of the problems arise. People getting it mixed up thinking the county owns it, and we don't own it. So we've had some ad hoc committee through Parks and Rec. They were discussing this over the last 6 months and everything, and we do provide the programming as we do in all 5 of them and everything, but we don't own the building, so there are some sticking points there and everything, but hopefully in the near future we can get work through that and everything and see the senior center down there. I know we've talked about this before, but the wage study for the county wage benefit study is not in their hands yet. We were expecting it in September, and here we are in November. we don't even have anything preliminarily to kind of report on. I mean, it's a discussion at every meeting, where's that, and it's not done yet. So, hopefully, in the very near future, we do have that and everything, so. And one thing that we're still moving forward with is the, bonding of the pension. We're still in the 45-day waiting period and everything, but, we're hoping to wrap that up here by the end of the year and everything, so, should save us, a significant amount of money, somewhere between $4 and $7 million by bonding it should save us over the course of the next few years, so. It's a good move there, so. Any, questions or comments from anybody?
I have one,
Sure.
and I was actually at the meeting
Yes.
when you were talking about the ARPA funds and approved the consultant.
Yes.
But I don't remember. Up to $50,000, I remember that.
Okay.
But will this consultant also handle the reporting documents of the dollars being spent?
I don't believe so. That's gonna be completely up to finance. I think Dean mentioned that it would be up to them. The consultant's gonna help guide us and the public to figure out where we're getting the best bang for our buck.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, there's 5 main criteria. One's mental health, one's hazard pay, one's broadband, one's infrastructure, and you remember what the fifth one is? But anyway, within them, there are numerous areas within each of them 5 the money can be spent. Like I said, one of the big things is what people were talking about broadband, but now, you know, we might be seeing more money from the feds and even the state for broadband and everything with this last package, so we might be able to scratch that off the list and not spend the money there because there might be other money available, so. And that's some of the things the consultant's gonna dive into to see, so. But basically, to sum it up, the consultant's gonna figure out with public input and everything, where we can get the most bang for our buck.
Can the county pay for the township's consultants?
But we can get his contact information.
Revenue loss is the 5th one.
Oh, revenue loss, that's right.
Oh, yes,
Yep.
you're right, revenue loss, yeah.
Good pull, Trace.
Yep.
I've
Thank
listened
you.
to enough.
So, you know, we'll have some interesting conversations here in the near future on that and everything. Like Nicole mentioned, we, as the county, has also had the first half deposited into our account and everything. So the money, half the money is sitting there and stuff like that. So, it's just a matter of where and how to spend it, you know, so. And, you know, I mean, it'll come up in the conversation, you guys will probably see this with public input. I mean, if you have 100 people here, you're gonna have 80 different ideas on how to spend it. And you'll find out that maybe some of them ideas they can't be spent on because it doesn't meet the criteria.
Right.
But I think public input's a good thing, you know, I mean, we all, as representatives, work for our community and everything, so that's a good idea to try to do that. So.
Any questions for Brad?
Like always, my contact information is on the county website. Feel free to reach out to me. I think most of you probably have my cell number anyway too, but get a hold of me if you have any questions or anything. I'm gonna go pack my truck so we can head out west somewhere.
Good luck.
Yeah.
All right.
Have fun.
Good for you.
So, well, have a good evening, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks.
too.
Thank you for Brad.
Yep, thank you.
Extended public input.
It's just a short public input. Linda Pepper, and what I wanted to say was when you put out that RFP for the fire hall, I'll call it that even though it's gonna be more than that. Please make sure that your criteria is that it's going to be carbon neutral. I really don't think we should be spending tax dollars anymore for contributing to climate change. We really need to make sure that we make it as efficient and as carbon neutral as possible. Because if we don't, we're gonna have, I mean, we're all seeing it. And so we need to do everything. So whatever you have to put in that RFP to make sure that these things are done as close as possible. I think that's really important. And it's a great selling point for the community. It's one of the things I worried about on their architectural designs for the senior center. They didn't, it's green, but
They didn't say carbon neutral, and I kept asking, hey guys, what do you mean? And that's just something I think is really important and a selling point. It's our tax dollars. We don't want to spend our tax dollars on something that's going to be killing us. So that's just my opinion on that. And also, just curiosity, anytime any of you might like to talk to me about the senior center and what you hear from people out here. I go to the senior center that we have at Holy Redeemer. And I hear different opinions there of what people, whether they want to do something downtown. Heck, most of my friends who are older, we're going into town 3-4 times a week for this different thing or that different thing. So we would use a senior center down there if it was nice and if it had programs.
Why don't we work on a nice senior center out in the county? So our seniors don't have to go to downtown.
Well,
Especially in the summer.
I've been pushing for reconsidering the Golden Fellowship Hall and using some ARPA money for reconditioning that, but nobody wants to listen to me because they're all focused on the bay and getting that built. And I mean, I begged for people to listen to me, but they're not interested right now. They got that problem. They're going to be working on that. So anyhow, just, I would appreciate if any of you had a chance to just tell me what your thoughts are. I mean, yes, I'd like to have one out here too, because I don't like driving on the parkway as far as I'm concerned. As soon as you want to do that. So anyhow, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I also want to say that Christmas is coming. So if anybody has any suggestions, ideas for employee Christmas stuff, and hopefully everybody wants to do something for the employee Christmas stuff, let us know.
Okay.
Anything else? We're adjourned. 6:57.